Hey friends, and welcome back. And if this is your first time here, my name is Jazz and I watch a shit ton of TV. And one of the shows that I've been watching and talking about is Love is Blind season 9, and specifically the character of Edmond. I've had so many different thoughts. You guys have had a lot of thoughts about Edmond. And so I really wanted to bring on somebody who is an expert in not only reality TV, casting like the entire world. He basically built this shit brick by brick. Okay. I had to bring on the king of reality TV to talk to us about Love is Blind and why they casted Edmond. Hello, my friends.
Hi, Taz. I miss you, boo.
I miss you too. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I know you're like so busy with everything, but you always make time for little old me. So I always appreciate that.
I adore you. So, of course, anytime you call me, I come running.
He really does, y'all. Carlos is the definition of a real one. Okay. Anytime I'm like, hey, I got a question. Can you help me with, can you, I need help. Oh, I made this. Can you give me your thoughts on that? Never too busy for your girls.
Of course, of course. I can't wait to talk to you about this fella.
Yes, like so you're just to be clear, y'all. Carlos is not actively watching Love is Blind, but he, of course, has been seeing the clips like all the rest of us. I sent him some clips, and I wanted to talk to him specifically because one of the sentiments, Carlos, that I keep seeing across social media is that Netflix should not have had Edmund on the show. They're exploiting him. And I feel like it's a little bit of a reach, but I don't know. I'm of the mind that I think all stories need to be told. And unless somebody presents themselves as like a physical threat, like a very harmful
Yeah.
person, I think all personality types need to have their stories told. And so I wanted to ask you, when you're casting for a reality show, what's the balance between finding people who make good TV and making sure you are representing like real diverse human experiences?
That's a great question. And I'm going to give you an exclusive. I don't think I've been shared this story ever. So I'll give it to you.
You tell.
When I was casting for Hollywood Divas, a show I had on TV One about Black
Yes.
actresses in Hollywood, there was an actress who we interviewed. And the only reason why I'm not going to say her name is because she has yet to tell her own story about what she was going through at that time in her life. I want to be respectful of her privacy. What I will say, Jazz, is long story short, did the interview, amazing story. We're talking about this child actor that grew up to be an adult actor and had a great story in the sense of like what that transition was like. However, we all spotted that there could have been some mental issues and not just like, oh, this person's quirky. It was more so like, I don't think this person is present. I
Mm.
don't think she's aware of the fact that she is doing a reality show, what that means. And it was an executive decision that myself and the network had where we said this was for exploitive if we decided to cast her. And listen, this person's a household name. I mean, a child actor that we saw every week as kids, and everybody would be like, "Oh my gosh, what is she going through?" But we made the executive decision to not even proceed with step two because we felt that there was something that just wasn't right in terms of where her mental health was, and we didn't do any diagnosis. It was just a gut feeling. So,
Yeah.
long story short, we did not pursue that. Now, with that being said, that was an extreme case where a blind person could have saw that something was wrong there. When it comes to other reality stars who are auditioning for any show, it's hard to tell in the casting process.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay,
Can you
that's
tell
the
us
reason.
why that is? Like why it's hard to tell?
Because I think it's like when you go out on a first date. You
Okay.
know,
Representative is president. Mm-hmm.
the representative shows up. So in this day and age, if you're signing on to do a reality show, you know what to say, you know how to act, you know what to give. You know, some people give too much, and you're like, girl, you're thirsty. I don't want you fighting, my love. But in some cases, it is situations to where you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start filming, and I'll get to this before the filming process, there's two rules when it comes to unscripted television. Okay, when you're doing a docu-series like a Real Housewives, Love and Marriage, Bell Collective, there's not a psych test that you take to get cast and hired because we're following your ordinary life. So you don't need to go through that. We do background checks though, right? And background checks are obviously extreme cases of like anything unlawful. Now, when you are doing a house reality show, which is Love is Blind, House of Villain, any reality show to where people are living in a house together 24/7, where there's cameras around, you do take a psych test, a psychology test. And what that means, Jazz, is the onus is on the medical and legal people involved to determine whether or not this person is mentally capable of being in this house where they could put someone in danger or they could endanger themselves. So you do go through that. All house reality shows have that process. So I never worked on Love is Blind. I can only assume that the biggest house reality show in the world have followed that same process. We followed that process, Jazz, on the Encore on BET.
Yeah, you had to. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the rule of thumb. I say all of that to say when you look at is Edmond, right?
Edmond, yep.
When you look at Edmond, sure. And I'll share my thoughts later, but what I will say is he 100% went through a psych test and got cleared to do the show.
That's what I thought, right? I made the assumption. Honestly, I didn't know that there was a distinction between if they stay in a house with people versus if you're just following them like a docu-series. I thought all people on reality TV had to do a psych test because I honestly was like, maybe that's how y'all choose people for these shows because you pick the people who fail because they're gonna be crazy. Honestly,
not at all.
That person that fell because they are crazy. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, I think with Edmond, my read on him is he is very weird. He's different. He's not a man that if I'm on Love is Blind and I'm on the other side of the pods, I'm not thinking that's my man. Wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. But I do think he represents a subset of men and they deserve to have their stories on reality TV, whether it's weird or not. And so with all that being said, and kind of like based on the clips you've seen of Edmond, what do you think of him as a person? Like if you're casting, because I have a theory, if you're casting a show, you meet with somebody like Edmond in the first interview, he says, hey, yeah, I eat my boogers. Do you say, oh, gross, but I'm putting you on TV?
Listen, and I say this with kindness, you don't want to see a full cast of people where everybody acts the same. You just don't. So when you have someone that may say in their casting tape, I eat my boogers, and they're a grown-ass adult, you're kind of like, this may be the quirkiness this show needs because it opens up the dialogue for a conversation. I look at Edmond, and I'll say this as a producer, I'm not concerned about his mental health just based on the clips I've seen. I haven't watched a full season, but based on the clips that are trending all over TikTok and the ones you sent me, he just seems like a quirky guy that is emotional. He's kissing the floor. He misses, the touch of a woman, the intimacy. He's missing all those things. I think he's very emotional. I think he's very lonely. And I think he's somebody that sort of regurgitates everything he's feeling versus processes it. In terms of like, I may sound crazy if I say this. I think he says whatever comes to mind. And I got to be honest with you. I think that's why this season is the talk of the town because the producers and the casting people in the network and everybody involved knew that to cast him was going to be TV gold.
100%. That is exactly my theory. I just had Clay, who was a contestant on Love is Blind season 6. And
Clay's iconic.
Yeah, Clay is Absolutely, he's an icon, right? They're gonna tear us up for saying that because the girls do not like Clay. But
Oh, well, listen, honey, I'm not
personally,
here. Well, yeah.
listen,
I
amazing
watch
TV.
the show and I know who Clay is.
Exactly, exactly. Amazing TV. And he's a good person once you get to know him outside of the show, right? But I had Clay on, and we've had two conversations now on my YouTube where he has said to me when he talks to Netflix about Love is Blind, he doesn't see how he got on the show because he was like, yeah, I want to get married, but I don't think I'll be able to get married in the way that you guys are planning, like with this experiment, right? So I was telling him in our last chat about Love is Blind season 9, people like him and Edmond, as a producer, if I'm a casting producer, 100% both of you are going to be cast. Clay, you're going to be cast because the story behind you not believing in the experiment. You want to get married, but you don't believe in the experiment. So, what I really want is for this experiment to work for you so that you can be our story of like, hey, this person didn't believe, but now it worked for him. So, we made him a believer. Okay. Edmund, I eat my boogers. I'm kissing the floor. There is so much entertainment value in that, whether you find it entertaining or not. He's polarizing. People are going to talk about
Yes.
him. I'm Netflix. I'm Kinetic. I'm an entertainment business at the end of the day. I want people to talk about my show. Whether he finds love or not, what I'm worried about is, are people coming to watch the show? Are they talking about it? Is there earned media? Is that how you guys think?
Well, absolutely. Listen, I find it very interesting that you have some people who watch the show that have these very personal opinions about not just the cast member, right? But why would the producer cast this person? Listen, we are dealing with the possibility of Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo committing fraud, allegedly, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the conversation outside of possibly what they allegedly have done or not is more so like, well, why is Real Housewives casting all of these people? You don't know what anyone's capable of as you're casting people. You're casting who you think would be interesting, entertaining. You guys want to be entertained because
Mm-hmm.
God forbid the show is boring and you
Oh,
read us for it being boring. You read the cast member for being a bore. But then when they're polarizing, we get read for them being polarizing. I don't want to see this person on the show. Why does Carlos King cast somebody where their marriage is going through turmoil? It's like, what are you talking? I mean, you want to watch something that is relatable and fascinating
mm-hmm.
as well, or you want to watch a bunch of people just sit around and talk about, oh, well, life is great, and the grass is green, and the rainbows are these watercolors, like the LGBTQ flag. I don't know what the folks want, child, but I
They
can
don't know.
tell you that they don't know either. Too. But what I can say to you is, and this is coming from me, kudos to whoever found Edmond. It's so good, he's making me want to watch Love is Blind season 9.
Just to see what everybody is talking about. That's what you want. Everybody watching, this is what Netflix, Kinetic, OWN, Bravo, this is what they are looking for. They want the people where you're going to talk about them whether you hate them, talk about them whether you love them. But you can't do that if you have, too much homogeny in terms of like personalities. If everybody is the same, everybody is even killed. That's boring. Nobody wants earnest reality TV. And you guys can say that you want it. I've tried to make it. People ain't buying it. People are not buying it.
It's the truth, and that's the reason why, even when you and I did a recap on Love Island and how, I'm not forgetting her name, but one of the women who was dealing with death threats.
Dealing with who? Oh yeah, Huda.
Yes, yes. Like literally dealing with death threats, people wanting to unfortunately see bad things happen to her. And I'm like,
Oh no, Sierra.
oh, Sierra, thank you, thank you, thank
Sierra.
you.
Sierra.
And I'm like, wait a second. Are we just not here to be entertained? And yes, and yes, and yes. I have strong opinions. I have them. You have them. That's
Mhm.
amazing. It's
Mhm.
fantastic. It's great. I love the fact that I get to watch a show, even as a producer, and feel so ignited to talk about what I'm watching and feeling inspired to just rush to my podcast mic and hit record. That's
Yeah.
what I want. I want all of my audiences to feel that way. And when it comes to Edmond, when you send me the clips, and you know how the algorithm works, all of a sudden, girl, my TikTok is full of Edmond now, child. I can't get enough. And I'm like, I think he's interesting. And I don't think, based on what I'm seeing, that there should be some concern based on his mental health. I think it's the fact that not everybody has it all together.
Mhm.
And I don't want to watch a show to where everybody has the same thought. We don't live in a world where everyone has the same thought. Now, with that being said, if somebody is a danger to themselves and a danger to others, then absolutely common sense would
Right.
tell you get rid of that person. But when someone is just quirky, interesting, an enigma, and you don't get it, I would just say watch. Just continue watching and let's just see what happens.
Exactly. Edmund does not pose any physical threats, Carlos. You haven't seen this. In the show, when after he meets his fiance, they go on these like romantic getaways. She wanted him to kill a moth in their hotel bathroom. He didn't even want to kill the moth. Like he wanted it to fly away. There was also a scenario where KB is his fiance. They're sitting down, they're having a meal, and she brings up this scenario. She says, if we were at a club or something, and a guy walks past and he grabs my arm, what you gonna do? That's exactly how she positions it. What you gonna do? He was like, I'll call security. She was like, but he touched me. He touched me. He's like, I'm calling security. She's like, okay, change the scenario. What if it's the same club, but this guy is like the same size as you? What are you gonna do? I'm calling security. This is a man.
She wants physical harm. Okay, got it.
He wants him to be a different kind of man, and that's not Edmund, honey. So, to people who are saying he's scary, I'm like, he's weird. Scary is not a word that I would use to describe a man who doesn't even want to kill him off and wouldn't even fight for your honor in the club.
You know what's so funny? I have a listen to me. I'm interviewing you now. I have a question for you. I'm fascinated by that. I'm gonna watch it. Okay, so people are concerned that this booger eating grown man who kisses the ground that
Mm-hmm.
yes, who literally kisses the ground that people walk on. Hey there, is a danger to society. But his fiance is mad at him and concerned because he's not physically defending her honor. So if he was fighting a man on the show in honor of his lady, that's okay. So would people think that's okay if he beat up a cast member because the cast member did what KB suggested in terms of like this
Scenario.
yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is he a good person then?
That's a great question. What I want to say is this: I actually had to challenge Clay on this because Clay was saying he thinks he doesn't have anything against Edmond, but he was like, how is Edmond the representation for Black men in Denver? And I was like, I want to challenge you on why you would question that, because is it because he doesn't present in the way that Black men think other Black men should present, like a more masculine kind of way? Is that why you don't think he should be the representation? So we had a really good conversation about that, guys. If you haven't checked out my chat with Clay, go and listen to it. But that was kind of like, his sentiment too. Like the question you just posed is like, if he was a little more hyper masculine or a little more
Mm-hmm.
aggressive, right, would
Mm-hmm.
that then be okay? But I feel like it goes back to what we were just saying. I don't know that audiences know what they want, myself included, because if he was presenting like that, there would be complaints about that as well. Like there's no pleasing audiences, it feels like. And in this scenario with Edmond, obviously, I was being facetious when I said a danger to society, but people were saying he was scary to KB because he was crying when she didn't want to give him any coochie. But I'm like, he wasn't going to do anything to her. Like he just cried because he was horny. I think he's a virgin. That's what I think.
You think he's like, damn it?
That's the takeaway. He's not autistic. Netflix is not exploiting him. They just put a virgin on the cast, and he's like, I'm ready. What do you mean? I'm a nice guy. I kiss the floor. I want to kiss you. I want to kiss your floor, KB.
Period. And go downtown. Listen, this brother wants the bath, and that's clearly why he is crying out of frustration. But that scene that I watched, she didn't look terrified. He didn't like grab her. He wasn't like angry. He just Listen, this is an emotional brother. And I agree with you. Listen, none of us, you're not, I'm not, any representation of Black people. I don't want that responsibility.
Me,
Don't
no.
don't give me that. I don't represent all the gays, all the blacks. I am Carlos King, and I fight every day to be the best me, and that's all I can give you, girls. That's it. I can give you nothing else. I
That's
can't. I can't.
I am not every woman.
No, Shaka Khan wasn't either. Hey, like it's impossible. Hey, Whitney Houston, recipe. So I think this Denver bred brother is just him, and
Mhm.
I like that. Reminds me of how you and I tried to fight the good fight for Summer House, Martha's Vineyard,
Yeah.
because we enjoy the fact that this particular group of Black people was just something we never seen on television. And
Mhm.
we enjoyed it, while a lot of other people wanted them to represent Black people who are their age. And I thought, listen, I'll say this publicly. I thought that was one of the reasons why the show did get a bad rap is because I think our own community just put too much pressure. I'll call them kids because I'm older. Put too much pressure on them kids to be something that they weren't, and I enjoyed each and every one of them.
Yeah, they called it boring, right? And that's a
Yeah.
perfect example of, when you get to me, they seemed normal, right? Like I was entertained watching them. I felt like those were stories that we needed to see. I feel like there always needs to be a balance with the different types of stories that are told, and I feel like Summer House Martha's Vineyard gave us a little bit on another side of the spectrum of like young Black millennials, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people called it boring. So it's like, again, what do y'all want as audiences? Like, that's my thing. And even just bringing it back to Edmond, I might have brought this up already, but if I didn't, people are saying that Netflix is exploiting him by putting him on screen. And I'm just like, this is where it doesn't pay to be an armchair psychologist. Like, people on social media just all think they can label people, and we know everybody's
Mm-hmm.
psychological standing.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix is not exploiting this man. Exploitation is putting somebody on camera who does not have their mental faculties in order. He clearly knows what he's doing. He's just weird.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I wanted to talk to you about this today. Somebody who is so unconventional. When you think of men and then you add the other layer of Black men, he's just different. And like, exploitation for me feels like a reach. What do you think about that?
It's a total reach because, again, I just said this. Love is Blind is the number one show on Netflix, a platform that is seen in 190 countries. We're talking about a show that is currently airing season 9. So 9 seasons of this global hit.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I had a Netflix show called Styling Hollywood.
Which
I
was
can say,
amazing.
thank you, my love.
So,
I can say to you, the vetting process is real.
yeah.
You armchair therapist behind your keyboard. Again, have your opinion, that's fine. But to make these gross statements is not fair to Edmond, and it's
Mhm.
not fair to Netflix, and it's not fair to the producers. There's so much that goes into the background of a show before it even gets greenlit for
Mhm.
another season or a cast member to get approved. There's legal, psychologist, there's test. There's so much other things that go into play. So trust me, the corporation and the producers would never, ever, ever put their brand, season 9,
Yeah.
at risk for casting somebody if they felt that this man was a danger to society or himself. If they approved him, it's because they vetted the process and they did a damn good job of it, which is why the show has lasted up until season 9 and according to the ratings beyond that. So again, enjoy the show. Have a
Yeah.
strong opinion, but to sort of go on this campaign is what I don't like about some of the audience because it just puts a stain on the show, and it's not fair to the person who you're asking to be saved who doesn't need to be saved and they're not asking for themselves. And number two, you're ruining the show. So
Yeah.
what will we have left to watch? Martha's Vineyard got canceled. Are some of y'all happy calling those Black kids boring because you didn't feel that they were entertaining enough? when you put things out there, it forces some new viewers to not want to watch it because they're like, well, people say it's boring. I'm not gonna give it a chance. Give
Exactly.
this give this black man a chance to be himself, and let's just enjoy watching what may unfold at the end.
Exactly. They're not exploiting him. He's not autistic. And even if he was autistic, one, how would you know from watching him on a very heavily edited reality show where like they're trying to get the most compelling story? How could you know that? There are even therapists or other mental health professionals, psychologists weighing in on this saying he shows traits of autism. As a professional, you should know to not do that. Like how that's the part that's baffling to me. I'm like, you do this for a living. You should know that there's no way to tell if somebody is on the spectrum unless you're actually their medical provider. Is that not so strange, Carlos?
That's weird. And that's why some of
Yes.
these people who go on TikTok and call themselves doctors just because they may listen, go ahead, sis and bro, and they get your degree. But when you are diagnosing someone based on TV,
Mhm.
like let's call it what it is. You're watching a television show. Jazz is right, it's edited. And I'm not saying it's edited to sway one thing. What she means by that is it's edited to where you're not seeing the full scope of a person because they have to share camera time with other people. And we're only going to show you what we think is the most compelling scenes to watch, while other scenes may end up on the cutting room floor. I have a nephew who's autistic, and guess what? It wasn't somebody watching him. It was studies. It was
Mhm.
tests. It
Mhm.
was it was interpersonal engagement that
Mhm.
made everyone say, okay, based on all of the work we've done over the past months,
Mhm.
we believe your child is autistic. So for these doctors to go on social media and say, based on my professionalism, he shows signs of autism, that's weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. I'm not a fan of diagnosing people. In my the other side of that, if he was autistic, what does that matter? Does he not deserve a place on the show? Because then the question becomes, whose reality are we really willing to see? Whose reality are we interested in at that point? Let's say Edmond comes out and says he is autistic, which he has not, to my knowledge. He has not
Mhm.
come out and said that. Let's say he did. Then does that change anything? Or does he not deserve to find love on a show like this? The introduction of the label of autism or any other label, right, then changes my question to the audience. What do you deem good enough to be entertained by? Or what do you deem to be good enough to be shown on TV? Like, whose stories in your eyes deserve to be told when you say you're a fan of reality TV, but you only want a certain reality?
Yeah, no, no, no. It's exactly that thought. And listen, I strongly believe if Edmund is autistic and he's aware that he's autistic and he told the producers and everybody around him that he's autistic, I strongly believe they will let him say that on camera. I
Yeah.
don't I don't believe for 1 second that if this brother is autistic, it has been diagnosed that, and they believe he is, that they will allow him to go on the show without even mentioning it. I just don't think that would make sense. And I don't think that would be something that they would do just based on why couldn't we talk about it? If anything, it makes it way more fascinating to watch because people do have this very skewed vision and version of what autistic people look
Mhm.
like, talk like, are.
Mhm.
And Elon Musk is autistic. There's tons of celebrities who are successful. But yeah, I just feel like at the end of the day, autistic individuals deserve the right to be on television, to be on reality TV, at least, like to do everything that their hearts desire. So again, it's not the as Jazz put it, the armchair therapist diagnosing these people, telling the network what they should do.
Yeah. They're not gonna do it. They're the experts for a reason. Netflix say the show has 9 seasons for a reason. You know, the truth about Edmund, he's a guy, he grew up in foster care, he did not have a stable childhood,
Mhm.
he has a lot of trauma, right? But he still was able to defy some odds. He played college football, he's a real estate agent. So he's able to be successful all on his own. He is just different. And like I said, in my expert opinion, now I'm an armchair sexologist. I just think he's a virgin. So
Well, that's safer to say.
right, exactly. Listen, thank you so much for coming to chat with me really briefly about Love is Blind. I always enjoy your expertise. I know people know where to find you, but just in the off chance that it's someone who is seeing you for the first time, please tell them where they can go to follow the king of reality TV, the king of all media.
Yes, honey, yes. And listen, to all the Love is Blind people who don't watch my work, but look, I have a podcast called Reality with the King. We drop multiple episodes a week, not only wherever you get your audio podcast, but also on YouTube. So that's Reality with the King. My name, Carlos King. Just type that in on YouTube. And you can follow me at the Carlos King underscore on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, everywhere.
Everywhere you can be, Carlos is there.
Yes, with the blue check, honey.
Oh, listen, that's the most important part. That blue check, honey. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to listen to Carlos and I chat about Love is Blind. Listen, none of us are mental health experts watching. And if you are a mental health expert watching, you shouldn't be diagnosing somebody that you're seeing on TV anyway. But I do hope that Edmond loses his virginity really soon. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.